Lesson 24 continues with percent and rates per 100 because remember a percent has to always be out of 100. And if we can convert our rate from a 1 hour or 1 second to 100, we then will be able to find the percent. So our first exercise tells us that Rob's fruit farm consists of 100 acres on which 3 different types of apples grow. There are 100 boxes here. This represents the entire farm. On 25 acres, the farm grows Empire apples. So my Empire apples would be 25 acres out of my whole, which is 100 acres. And I'm going to demonstrate the Empire on blue when I color it in. And the Macintosh apples grow on 30% of the farm. Now, because it is 100 acres and 30% is the same as 30 over 100, that would be 30 out of 100. That means that it's 30 acres out of our 100. And then the last one is that they grow Fuji apples as well, but they say it's the remainder of it. So if you look here, we can actually color in our Empire and Macintosh. You can choose whatever color you want. So 25 out of 100. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that would mean this would be 1. That's 10. This here is 20. And then I just have to color in 5 more. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to get an idea of what it means. And then my Macintosh, which I decided to do in yellow, is 30. So that's 5 plus 10 more would be 15. Plus 10 more would be 25. And 10 more, well, I can't do 10 more. That's 25. I have to get to 30. I have to do 5 more. And then they said the rest would be the Fuji, which I decided to color in pink. And while I'm coloring in, I'll see how many of the pink we have left. So that's 5 plus 10 is 15. 10 more is 25. 10 more would be 35. And the last 10 would make it 45. And so that would mean it would be 45 out of the 100 acres. You also could know that if 25 and 30 equals 55 and the whole thing is 100, you could have taken 100 minus 55 to get the 45. But this is a visual demonstration of what these percents mean. So 25 out of 100 would be 25%. This is 30%. That is 45%. And if you want to also know the decimal, this is 0.25 or 25 hundredths. This is 30 hundredths, and that is 45 hundredths. Let's go to the next exercise. So you have an additional example. The scenario is, the shaded portion of the grid below represents the portion of a granola bar remaining. So the shaded part is what is left. If you see, they give us the decimal 0.01, which is 1/100th. This is asking us what percent does each block of the granola bar represent? Well, they give me the decimal 1/100th, which is the fraction 1/100th. And as we showed up here, if it's something out of 100, so this is 45 out of 100, that's 45%. This is 1 out of 100, which means it is 1%. So each block represents 1%. Now it asks us what percent of the granola bar remains. Well, if all of our shaded area is what remains and each box is 1, we just need to figure out how many there are. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 times 10, which would be 80. And that would be 80 out of 100, or 80% remains. You also could have seen that 20% was taken out and taken 100 minus 20. And then it says, what other ways can we represent this percent? Well, 80% is equal to 80 hundredths, which is equal to 80 hundredths. And that is how you go with a whole being 100. I would like for you to complete this page on your own. At this point, I'd like you to pause the video once I get done explaining. It says for each figure shown, represent the gray shaded region as part of the whole figure. Write your answer as a decimal fraction in percent. On this one, we actually have two shaded versions. So you're going to have a dark gray and a light gray. This one, we have a dark gray, light gray, and white. And on this one, it's light gray and white. So for B, you're actually going to have 3 different ratios and percents, where with A, you're going to have 2, and C, you only have 2. And make sure you answer all those questions. Exercise 4, you're going to go on to once I move you on from exercise 3. But I want to do a couple examples because this table goes on to the other page as well. And I do want you to get into the habit of practicing these things. So I just want to give you a couple examples to get you started. So we have our 6%. Remember, whatever percent it is, it's always out of 100. So that's 6 out of 100, which would be 6 hundredths, which as a decimal would be 6 hundredths. You do not need to do the model as it'll take you much longer, but I have a printout for you, and on that page is where I want you to do that model, not right here. So we have a 60%. Right here we have a 600, and even though this number is more than 100, our percent is still out of 100. And so the decimal, I would wait for that. I'd go straight to your fraction, and your fraction is 600 out of 100. And that would be what your ratio would be. We can simplify this by dividing both by 100. And so technically our ratio would be a 6 to 1. But out of 100 it'd be 600. And then the decimal, because this is 600 hundredths, would actually be a 600, like that. Go ahead and complete this table. And then I would like you to look at exercise 5. Complete that, and if you do that correctly, I'll move you on to the checkpoint.